Square Enix, Bandai, and other Japanese studios, including some anime studios, have finally, or firstly, set a written letter or written statement to OpenAI to stop using their content or else. And that or else is a pretty ambiguous or else. And in my opinion, it is about time that some of these companies started fighting OpenAI to using their content, because OpenAI just blatantly uses their content with Sora, and which is what this is against personally. We're going to be talking about that and more. My name is the Techno Jelly. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it if you do. Now let's get right into the video. So the Content Overseas Distribution Association, or CODA for short, represents Square Enix, Bandai Namco, From Software, at least From Software's parent company, Kodaquai Corporation, cygames, and it also has some other ones, like for instance Studio Ghibli is also there as well under them. Basically every big Japanese anime or video game corporation is in there, with an exception of Nintendo. Nintendo is not a member of CODA, which is a big distinction, but they have officially written and issued a warning slash written a request to OpenAI to tell them to stop using their content. It's written on their own website, and I'm sure has done through the legal process of showing this to them. And it just shows that the companies are finally getting sick and tired of OpenAI's shenanigans. Because with Sora 2, and they're complaining specifically against Sora 2, because they're using AI generated videos of properties. Some of the bigger ones, even though they're not a member of CODA, like one of the bigger ones was a video of Pokemon, right? And it's not Pokemon. So that's like a huge copyright problem of so many different kinds. And it looks like it finally is happening, where the Japanese companies they've had enough. They have issued a warning, basically, a written request. And in this request, they have two parameters, right? And once again, this is on their own website, as also reported by a bunch of places like PC Gamer. The written request says this: in the operation of Sora 2, CODA requests that its members' content is not used for the machine learning without their permission, and OpenAI responds sincerely to claims and inquiries from CODA members companies regarding copyright infringement related to Sora 2's output. Which totally makes sense. You know, they should have been like this to begin with, but obviously they had to go through some legal means. I'm sure that this statement, even though it's only basically a paragraph and a couple sentences, I am sure multiple lawyers have gone through this to make sure that there is no way for them to wiggle around it. And this is a good distinction, because in Japanese copyright law, you must gain permission. There is no outside way to gain permission without actually asking. Like, you can't assume permission with Japanese copyright system. The Japanese copyright law is very strict when it comes to permissions, and you must gain permission to use copyrighted material under Japanese law. So I'm curious if this means that Sora 2 will just not be available in Japan, because it is technically Japanese law, not US law. So I wonder what the difference is there. But it seems that OpenAI finally has a big competition against themselves when it comes to, are we allowed to use this stuff? Because that's always been the question, whether it be ChatGPT or something else, like with the text stuff or the generative art stuff. With this AI video stuff, CODA members are saying, no, you do not have permission to use this. You must gain permission from us, and you must ask for permission, which is generally making like contracts or doing that sort of stuff, paying them basically. So it's going to be interesting. And this request from them, as also alluded to on PC Gamer, basically says do this or legal action will happen, because this isn't a legal thing. Like, just to make sure everyone understands, this written request is not a legal action. It is not suing or anything like that. This is a written request with the extremely heavily implied that if they do not do this, legal action will happen, which is a big deal, because COPA represents a lot of companies. Like I said at the beginning, like basically most major video game companies in Japan other than like the big three, like Nintendo, Sony, and Sega aren't technically a part of it, but other big ones are, like Square Enix, Bandai Namco, Kodawa Corporations, which owns From Software and like a ton of anime stuff as well. Studio Ghibli's there, cygames, like they're still really big Japanese companies, so like it's easy to say that they have the means to fight OpenAI in legal courts if they have to. But they basically said, hey, do this and we won't do anything else. Like, just make sure you can't use our content. If you want to use it, ask us and we can figure it out. But if not, legal stuff will happen. And it's about time. There are some more, like, I guess, written requests similar to this from other companies, but this is like one of the ones that I saw that they're the biggest, that have the biggest names, because other companies can't really fight OpenAI. OpenAI has too much money right now in terms of investment. Like, they're not actually making any money, but they have so much money because of investments. But the Coda members have a lot of money, and they have a lot of, not only do they have investment money, they also have just straight up revenue streams, which OpenAI doesn't. So I think this is a much bigger threat than something from smaller companies. So it's going to be interesting to see how they respond. From everything I've looked, they haven't officially responded, but I'm sure they're talking behind doors right now. It's going to be interesting to see how deep this goes and if they actually do legal action because of something like this. But overall, we are not sure what's happening behind the scenes right now because they did this open letter basically to them, and now we have to wait to see. But let me know what you guys think about in the comments down below if you think this is a good thing or a bad thing. You've heard my opinion. I definitely think it's a good thing. I really hope that overall OpenAI either just says, okay, that it stops generating that stuff, or they get official permission. There'll be a good precedent to set, personally. But let me know what you guys think about in the comments below. Moving on into a weird situation. Reported by PC Gamer, Mindseye lost its free roam mode and is now rebranding itself powered by Arcadia. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, Mindseye is the open world game that was made by the former GTA producer. And this game was supposed to be rivaling Grand Theft Auto or like other open world games like LA Noire, the Mafia games, which basically those two games from my knowledge are Saints Row as well. Those three are really the only ones that kind of compete with GTA, but obviously GTA beat them. But those games aren't necessarily bad, but GTA is the top dog. So everyone's like, okay, Mindseye being made from a GTA producer, and it's got a lot of money behind it. Let's do this. The game's awful. It is one of the worst games I've seen in a very long time. There's a lot of people saying that it is the worst game of this generation so far. And its open world game lost its open world free roam mode, which is hilarious. Now, to be fair, from what I've seen, this mode sucks. Like, just like the rest of the game, it sucks, and it is really annoying. But you can see what they're going for, because they've basically turned this into Arcadia, which is... And they're basically just rebranding it as Arcadia. Like, even the Mindseye game is now called Arcadia. Basically, what they're trying to do is they're trying to be a Roblox or the Fortnite custom. I actually don't remember what the Fortnite build thing is called, but the Fortnite Create program where they can build stuff in Fortnite. I can't remember what it's called, unfortunately. But that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make a new Roblox, basically, and they're just never going to do it. Like, this is not a good tool. And from what I can tell, like, I mean, when your example is Mindseye, that's not a good thing. Like, the reason people go to Roblox and Fortnite for those styles of things is, first of all, Roblox, very made for kids. The expectations are relatively low, but there are some amazing games made in Roblox. And sure, you have the limitations of the Roblox engine, but like, there's still some crazy games that can be made in Roblox and some very fun games. Sure, they're not breaking the bounds of graphical prowess or anything like that, but they don't need to. You don't need that to make a fun game. And Fortnite literally has Fortnite. It has all the Fortnite stuff behind it to say, hey, we made this. We're giving you the tools to create things. Go create things. So it's so weird to me that Mindseye still thinks it can do this, because when their example is built by Arcadia Mindseye, that's not a good thing. That's like an actual negative thing. And I don't even know people who even play Mindseye still. Like, people didn't even finish the game. Like, even some reviewers that I saw didn't even want to finish the game. So it's so weird to me that they're still trying. I thought this company was just gonna capitulate. I thought it was just gonna go under and everyone will just move on with their lives. But no, apparently they're still trying to do it, and I feel like it might work. Like, let's be honest. Mindseye was a doomed project. This game was not going to be good, and it was not going to be able to save itself. So pivoting to a user-generated sandbox style of game to make more games does make sense in terms of a pure business side, because Mindseye is doomed. Like, you're not fixing that. It's got a bad reputation. When people say Mindseye, they think terrible. They think garbage. Rebranding to Arcadia and then trying to cover it up and then say, hey, look at this other things. This no code creation tool is what their slogan is. And I'm like, okay, if you don't know that Mindseye was originally this thing, you could maybe get around that. The problem is I don't know if people can get around that, and if it's even worth it to most people to move on from things like Roblox or the Fortnite thing, or even just like actual game engine stuff. Like, it's never been easier to just try to make a game. Like, you don't need that much coding knowledge. Like with Godot and the Unreal stuff and Unity, there's so much tutorials out there that you don't need to know coding in order to make a video game right now. Like, obviously, if you the better game you want to make, you probably need to know some coding eventually, but to make your first terrible game, like everyone's first game is generally, you don't need that much coding knowledge. Like, the no code creation tool, while a good slogan, is basically most engines nowadays. Like, you don't need to be a genius in coding in order to make good games. Like, some of the biggest indie games are terribly coded if you ask coders. Like, they're not that well coded. Like, I think some of the funniest things is, like, I've seen coders complain how Undertale is coded. Like, apparently Undertale is a pretty poorly coded game, but still really fun to play. And I mean, every time I've seen developers talk about it, it's like coding in video games is, if you don't know how it works, but it works, don't change anything. And it's all about mind tricking the players into thinking what they see is true, you know? So there's so much stuff that you can do. So I don't know. It feels like it's an okay pivot, but I don't know if it's really necessary, because like the kids that are playing Roblox aren't going to Mindseye. Let's just be real. They're not doing that. If they were to move on, they'd go to somewhere in Fortnite, because that tool is just better. So I don't really know how well this is going to do, but I don't think it's going to go well. But I do understand that this is probably the only way they could go, because you're not saving Mindseye. There's no way. So I guess the main thing is, we'll see. I'll keep an eye on it, but I can't see this going well. I'm expecting this to capitulate and just be a footnote in history, if anything. And finally, as a quick thing, it's really funny because Chick-fil-A has launched a vending machine, a second vending machine in Georgia Tech. It serves cold food and it shuts down on Sundays, which is hilarious because, you know, that's Chick-fil-A, that's what they do. But honestly, I also wanted to say that I feel like vending machines like this, I think I want to see more stuff like this, because this is really big in Asian countries like Japan, where vending machines can give basically whole like meals. It isn't just a snack thing or a drink thing. And I really do wish they would have more unique, cool vending machines for more meals. Like up here in Canada, I kind of wish there was, like, if there was a Tim Hortons vending machine, that'd be cool, you know? Or a McDonald's vending machine. I think that'd be cool and interesting. And it's interesting to see that Chick-fil-A is the ones. Now, to be fair, it is at Georgia Tech University, so, I mean, that kind of makes sense. It's also really funny that it sticks to Chick-fil-A, so it shuts down on Sundays, so you still can't use it on Sundays, which, honestly, annoying, but I'm glad they did it, because, you know, hey, it's, you gotta commit to what they are. They have to commit to it, and I respect that. And it feels like the West, or at least America and the Canada, are just behind in vending machines. Because everywhere, even in Europe, there are vending machines that do so many things, but here in Canada and the US, it's just drinks and snacks, and I feel like we're behind in the vending machine meta. And I want companies to realize that vending machines are really cool and useful, and they can do so much more, and they cost less than a restaurant. So I feel like they need to get with the times, especially now that a lot of vending machines have, like, you literally can just use your debit card and stuff like that. And you don't have to pay people. I mean, you do have to maintain it, of course, but like, it's cheaper. We all know that it's cheaper. So it'd be so interesting to see, like, a row of vending machines with just different restaurants. That'd be kind of cool. I think that would be interesting. I don't want it to be the dominant thing, of course, but I think it's something that more companies should explore at least. And I hope to see it one day. But that was a quick one. That is going to be the last thing we're talking about today. Thank you everyone for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. Please, once again, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Like the video if you like it. Dislike it if you dislike it. I completely understand. Let me know what you think about all these topics down below in the comments. If you'd like to support me directly, please go over to patreon.com/thetechnojelly. You're going to join all of these nice people going across the screen, as well as a once a month live stream that you can vote for to see what we do and have fun with it. You also gain some other perks as well. If you'd like to follow me on other platforms, I have a Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads. Thank you everyone for watching, and once again, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.